So at my Euro hostel budget stay, right behind that red car, I'm going to go in the opposite direction that I went the first day. This is my last day. Tomorrow is my technical last day when I leave for the airport, but my last full day today. I'm going to walk this direction to look at the bridges and to go down to the original old part of town, which I'd visited very quickly, but I will do it now. Maybe we can find out what the name of this is. Seems like an overly substantial pedestrian bridge in the classic design, or at least a mix of the classic Greek and Roman columns and the links of iron of the 19th century, if you will. The rain this morning, which prompted me to put my jacket on, rain jacket, as soon as I came out, is a kind of drifting mist, light drifting mist. I think if the Eskimos have, as they repeatedly do, perhaps 50 or 100 words for snow and ice, Scotland should have the same number for rain. Again, a lovely contrast in ages of architecture. This church, and behind is the glass top of apparently a very large shopping mall. I haven't been inside of it. I think I'll try and do that this morning. I like this building because I think it's a modern mix of the feel of 19th century iron and brick architecture. The Glasgow Cross is the area we're going to be exploring. But we're going to wander along the river to pick up these bridges and then cut left and mess around back there. Next bridge, a rather ordinary mortar bridge, but with an interesting, I'm guessing that's some kind of religious building over there, but I don't know for sure. And then another interesting pedestrian or maybe even a railroad bridge, I'm not sure. And then this pretty building looks quite old. We'll get a closer look at it in a few moments. As I pan this, only a few faces look like I might recognize them. The first face there of surprise, Guy Fawkes perhaps. And the rest I don't recognize at all. Has a Natalie Wood mouth, but it's not Natalie. And this face I kind of recognize, but I can't place it. This is a nice old building. I want to look more closely at the detail of that ironwork above the door. I wonder if that was cast in one shot. The sign says Merchant Lane. Presumably it's that little dinky lane, but I think it's an important historical lane. Classic old design of the 19th century, isn't it? Whether it's a 19th century bridge or not, I don't know. Classic looking. Intrigued enough by this Merchant Lane, I want to walk down through here. Notice these arches that have been filled in. Companion building has arches. Could this all have been a merchant area of some sort? This part on the right built underneath the road that comes from the bridge, gated off, but still those arches persist. Now, using my cameras, telephoto on this side, I think we can see that beyond the bridge are open arches, analogous to the side we were just looking at. Where they're closed, those are open. It looks very massive and substantial in the 19th century iron way, but pretty with the colors and design elements. Here's the last bridge that we'll be up close to, a 19th century bridge, but in a great state of disrepair. Probably could look pretty if they maintained it. It's like a Coast Guard installation. What's interesting is that inland on the river here they have those two survival boats. I mean, they're the kind of boats that I thought were used out to sea, that if your boat capsizes and you put 30 men in there locked down, it doesn't make any difference what happens. It'll toss, turn you like in a washing machine and you're still fine. But why on this river? This is the Albert Bridge that we've been looking at. It goes to great lengths to tell us who it was laid by, Earl of so-and-so and something or other of somebody, Grand Master blah blah blah, but it doesn't tell us the date. Here another bridge further, I think, can't tell if it's downriver. Stuff that's on the water isn't moving. And it could be the wind that's causing the little movement I do see, but anyway, it looks like it has some kind of water control, flood control gates there too. We'll enter this unnamed park in which there is a gathering of bicyclists. Just come from down there, and I'm going to come back to that area up in there after I go through the park a little bit, just so I can see it, and then I'll angle to the left and go to that area I just panned through. So this is the famous Glasgow Green, which makes sense since this was the core of the old town. The Nelson Monument should be the obelisk to our right. People's Palace and Winter Gardens. Whenever they say People's Palace, that seems like an oxymoron to me. A contradiction in terms. We're not going to go through the entire park. I'm going to take it for granted that that's Nelson's monument. I don't know what the arch is for. I've never understood the thrill of being part of a pack of either hikers, cyclists, or anything else. Say, I'm now at Mumford's Gate. Opposite this gate, Mumford Penny Griggy, one of Glasgow's many places of popular entertainment, flourished from the 18-something or others until the 1870s. So across here was that popular place. Go down this street as part of the beginning of our wandering. Interesting old building. Maybe a factory. Notice that those windows are closed in. I'll tell you why. At one time, the government passed a tax law saying it would tax buildings based not on the number of rooms or square footage or blah blah blah, but rather on the number of windows they had. So they immediately, the people, boarded up all the windows they absolutely didn't need to reduce their taxes. Then when the law was changed back to something more rational, it was too expensive to remove those doors and put in the new windows, so they left them. Looks more like a city hall, doesn't it? Some of the quotes outside the church entrance. We are all weary travelers along life's dusty way. If any man can play the flute, in God's name let him play. Come. This is from a children's game. I'm Tom Toady Man. I'm the wee melody man, and we'll do the best we can to follow the wee melody man. All seem to be dedicated to music, it seems. My love's a sailor on the wave, coaxing a tune from the fiddle, from the Jew's harp, from the great pipes with the hold canter. I won't be climbing the hill with a song. I don't quite know what it means, but here it is in Gaelic, which takes it even farther from my understanding. And when they're coming in a boot, it's then I'll start to sing, and dae my best to gar them laugh. A rune about the ring, to the begging I will go. I'm a fiddler to my trade, and all the tunes that e'er I played, the sweetest still to man were made, was Whistle o'er the Lavato, Whistle o'er the Lavato. From the Harvest Home. We came now here for world's gear, nor worldly motive did us draw, but we came here to foot the fleer, and dance till we be like to fall. Whatever this building is and was for, it's on St. Andrew's Square that springs from the name of the church, of course. We're at the major medieval center of town, which was the intersection of Trongate, Salt Market, High Street, Gallowgate, which is coming in from our right, and London Road Junction, all here. I think the tower is the only remains of the City Hall from the past. I read something about it, can't find that detail now. What this little roundhouse structure is, I don't know. It reminds me of the one in Edinburgh that was the pillory, if you will, and the small prison right in the center of town where people would be nailed to the door by their ears. And if they wanted to get away, they had to tear themselves out. Idea what those holes are for. The Mercat Croft of Glasgow, built in the year of His Grace 1929. Not that old. Here's remains of this intersection. I would imagine in the day it was crossed by trolley cars and horse-drawn carriages, etc. Notice that, 1906. High Street, St. Andrew's Tower in the back, the river to the right, and we're working our way back in the direction we came this morning. Again, this tower looks like a tack-on, but is it possible it was something even earlier and others were built around it? It's not intended to be a dramatic walk around, merely filling in the blanks, if you will. Imagine when buildings like this, to the original occupants and the people who lived here, felt like our skyscrapers do in New York. Massive, enduring. 12 Angry Men. This would be interesting to see the British version of Henry Fonda's movie. A pretty old building from the old days. Just kind of stands out if you're looking for it. So next door almost looks Art Deco. Building that we looked at the dome at earlier in the distance, I wanted to focus on what's above the doors, in part because of the green moss-covered statues. Actually adds, doesn't it? A pretty quick walkabout, because down there is Glasgow Central train station and my hostel to the left. Fortunate that these older buildings exist, but then all this tawdry crap exists like a giant blemish wart, dominating them almost. Kudos to the architect and the owner-builder of this building, who had the ability to come up with a pretty design like this. It's too bad there's no way they could know that it would exist while everything else turned tawdry. You wonder what the first floor would have looked like if the upper floors are that nice. Another pretty building. It may be that its first floor hasn't been too terribly maligned. Really being that knowledgeable, this seems Dutch or something along that line, or German maybe. Simple, modern, dramatic entrance to St. Enoch subway station. There you can see the old station in the background, and the station master's home on the second floor.